Hey there all, hope you're having a great day. Today is a glorious day weather-wise in Melbourne. We'll see how long that lasts. But it's time for another review, and today I'm going to sit down and go through my thoughts of Steel Panther's latest Heavy Metal Rules. 10 tracks for 36 minutes, the fifth studio album from the American band, released September 2019 independently, I believe, produced by Jay Ruston and the band. 3 singles have been released so far in All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight, Always Gonna Be a Hoe, and Gods of Pussy. The album is named after the philosophy of the Zebra Man from the documentary film Heavy Metal Parking Lot, and had to be re-recorded after the band accidentally deleted it, which is why there was a 4-year wait between records. I can't believe they deleted their record, but anyway, that's the digital age, I guess, with hard drives. This one, for mine, starts off with that iconic quote that is referenced in the title. It's a cool little way to kick things off and sums up the attitude of the band pretty nicely. After that is when the party gets going. It's only like a 36-second intro track. All I Want to Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight is the perfect crowd song on this record. You know that that's going into the live set. It's a catchy song with heaps of energy that will, it's got a great big crowd chant moment injected into that song, so you know it's going to go off live. There is great production on this record. Expect no less from this band by now. You know they're going to sound good. I've got to note the tones, though, are glorious on this record. Throws back a little bit to earlier releases in that regard, particularly the guitar tone. That was fucking amazing. So much better this time around than especially the last release, maybe even the last 2. Around that though, everything is blended nicely, well balanced. The synth work that is used on this is not all over the record, but when they do use it, it's nicely mixed in, not overpowering, not distracting. It just adds to the sound and the feel of this record really nicely. It's got punchy drums, nice balls on the bass guitar too, I've got to say that. And Michael Starr's vocals, fuck, if you haven't heard this bloke sing, you're missing out. He never misses a beat. I love his voice, I love where it's presented on this mix. I like how he's using his own voice in harmony with like the lower register and the upper register at the same time, but then again when the rest of the band come in with the harmonies too, that's always on point, so it's really well done in that regard. Again, performances across the board, not just vocally, are bang on, as is the composition. These guys can write and play with the best of them. I don't care who you are, and regardless of the gag, they can write and they can play, and that's really cool. What's good about this one though is the guitar work gets to flash a little bit more, and that's really welcome on this release. You get hooks in the writing as always. Let's Get High Tonight is another one that will probably make it into the live set on the new tour, because there's a great hook in that and you can just tell it's going to get the crowd going. The album overall shows a little bit of growth and maturity, not words you associate with Steel Panther, and it's not in the lyrics either. It's just the placement of some tracks on the record where you got some slower tracks placed here and there, followed up by some heavier tracks in the right moments of time, which is really well done. There's just the right amount of those sort of soft moments and ballsy moments, but I did like the use of piano and acoustic sort of guitar moments and tones on this. That was a really nice way to break things up, and it all fit together really well. They've got that part, as they've gotten through the years, better for mine. All that said, this album isn't as instantly grabbing as previous releases. It does grow on you more over time. It's better than the last album, but in that it stays with you and has something there that makes you keep coming back to it. It's just not as instantly grabbing as the earlier releases are. And lyrically, they've not changed at all. You know what this band is about by now. They're not taking a back step in the current PC climate, and more credit to them as far as I'm concerned in that regard. That said, the gag is a little bit tired by now. There's only so many ways to write the same lyrics, and that's starting to show, particularly, it started on the last one, I started to question it then, but on this one it's, really starting to be there. It doesn't offer a lot of new territory, and after the Pussy Melter controversy they had with the guitar pedal effect tone thing, I thought they could have written a song about that, and they didn't write a song about that, and it's the same trick they missed when they could have had, grabbed by the pussy from the Trump stuff. I think they could use some more real world stuff in their writing to really break things up a bit. This is an album of 2 halves. Tracks 6 through 9 are a bit lackluster compared to the opening side of this record. Those songs aren't terrible, but they're not as strong as the opening half of the record. With titles like Fuck Everybody, Heavy Metal Rules, and Gods of Pussy in particular, I feel like they missed some tricks with, really strong titles, but songs that didn't quite own that, so to speak. Some of these songs will certainly make it into the live set, and they're not going to be bad additions. I just don't think they're going to be better than what they're going to take out of the live set. This is an album that you're probably going to pick and choose some of your favourite tracks from and then add them to your Steel Panther or Party playlist. It's one of those records. Not everything is great. Nothing is bad, but it's a case of, side A was fantastic, side B was okay, but it did drag things down a bit. When you get a run of, sort of tracks 6 through 9 that's just in a row, and it just sort of sucked the life out of it for me. The last track I do want to pay attention to though, the close of the album is I Ain't Buying What You're Selling, and this is one of the band's most different tracks to date. Not musically, they've done this sort of acoustic stuff before, but lyrically, this is very different from the band. It almost feels like a real song, and I don't mean that they can't write real songs, but it's a somber track that seems to rip away the veil of, the glory and the shtick that they've got, and shows you a real person behind it. I wonder if they're starting to test the waters a little bit with adding something a bit different to their repertoire. For me, I really liked it. I thought that was a really nice addition to the album and sort of made you wonder what's going to come next from this band. I'd love to know what you all think of that last track out there as well. If you don't listen to the album or you're not a fan, just listen to the last track and let me know what you think of it. It is a solid album overall. Again, the first half of this album was the strongest half of it, and the last track, that second side, the 4 tracks there, really pulled it down for me. They are a brilliant band. They're exceptionally talented. Regardless of their albums, I will always go and see them live because they are one of the greats today in the live environment. And if you haven't seen them yet in the live show, unfuck that because they are brilliant. I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10. My highlights were I Ain't Buying What You're Selling, All I'm Gonna Do Is Fuck Myself Tonight, I'm Not Your Bitch, and Always Gonna Be a Hoe. It's a good album, well worth a listen, just not as strong as their previous releases. So over to you out there. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. We'll see you again in the next video. Until then, drink up, rock on. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, and also give us a thumbs up or subscribe or follow any of our social media channels to keep up to date with what we're doing at all times. I want to say a very special thank you to our Patreon supporters: Funk Dancing for Self-Defense, Eat the Damn Orange, Andrew M, Craig S, Greg B, Kaz B, and Tim C. Thank you for your support. We'll catch you in the next video. Yes, we will.